Hey everyone, Foxitor here. Welcome to the draft analysis for Season 4 of the IBA. Super happy to be back in a regular season of the IBA. I've really been enjoying the VGC and the Little Cup, but just super happy to be in this league again with some amazing people, some old faces, some new faces. So really happy to just battle everyone again. So let's just explain the league for a bit, or the way the tiering system worked, at least I thought was interesting. Instead of an 18-point tiering system, which you normally see in most drafts, it was a 20-point tiering system. So they did that, I think, because they then could exclude some more, some more expensive mons, or ones that deserve to be expensive, such as Dragapult and Mew maybe, but I don't even think that Mew is that great. But Mew was also at 20 points, and I think Zygarde was at 20 points. I think Urshifu's Single Strike is banned, or at least it wasn't at 20 point. So yeah, that's how the 20-point tier looked. This, however, also caused other mons to be higher tiered than they usually would be. So I think Tornadus-Therian, Tornadus-Therian is an amazing mon, but it was 19 points here. And normally you should probably grab it for 17 points, or 18 maybe. But yeah, so the tier shifts also caused other mons to be more expensive, and the point limit was still 120 points. So what it caused is that you pay more for mons than you usually would, but you still have the same budget. So that kind of changed things, but I still think I'm really happy about my draft. I wasn't when I was finished drafting. In the free agency period, I kind of made some trades, and I'm actually super happy about it right now. So let's get into it. First one, Weavile. So what I wanted to first pick was Tornadus-Therian. I love Tornadus-Therian. And the core I wanted to go for was Tornadus-Therian Slowbro, because I think that's a super nice core. Double regen, can both be run defensively. Tornadus-Therian also has some really nice offensive traits. So really was looking forward to drafting that core. But JBWestside actually grabbed Tornadus-Therian right in front of my nose, the literal pick before me. So that was super annoying. Wait, let me move the mic real quick. Let me move it just there. I think that's perfect. Literally grabbed it just before me. So that was super annoying. So that was okay, let me grab a mon that I wouldn't usually draft, which is Weavile. I usually struggle with grabbing some high tier, high speed mons. I'm talking Zeraora, Tornadus-Therian, Weavile, that kind of stuff. I usually fill out my higher speed tiers with mons like Inteleon or Barraskewda. Those are great mons, but Weavile is Ice Dark type, which are both super great offensive typings. It has access to Swords Dance. With Boots, it's even better than it was in previous generations. Knockoff is amazing. It gets Triple Axle now, which technically has more base power than Ice Crash if you want to risk the missing. You can run a Bandit Life or Boots, whatever you want really. It's just a super heavy hitter, super fast as well. So yeah, really happy I was able to pick up Weavile here, which is not a mon I usually grab, but I just wanted to fill out the highest speed tiers with some higher tier mons as well. So as for the second pick, I was pick 15 in a 16-man draft, by the way. So I of course couldn't be too disappointed that I didn't grab Tornadus-Therian, as I was 15th pick. But yeah. I kind of have the wheel pick, so I am able to grab Slowbro. I used Slowbro in the, what's it called, the NDL Season 2. I dropped out of that, but Slowbro is an amazing mon. The plan for this draft is draft heavy hitters and draft slow defensive pivots to get those heavy hitters in. And if you think of a defensive pivot, who better to grab than Slowbro? Slowbro is probably the best teleport user in the game, as it has access to Regenerator as well. Future Sight hurts, Scald, physical attackers don't want to switch into it. It gets access to Calm Mind, Iron Defense, a bunch of stuff. Slowbro is really fun to use. You can stop an Assault Vest on it as well. It has the capabilities to be especially defensive as well. So yeah, really glad I was able to grab Slowbro. As you can see, kind of building a weakness to Buck as of now. But we're going to grab Zapdos, which resists that. Really enjoyed using Zapdos in the first season of the IBA I was in. It has nice offensive traits. I think it has 120 plus base special attack, but I love running this one physically defensive. Flying Electric is such a good defensive typing It resists steel, it resists fighting, it resists grass, flying. It's immune to ground. Like, it's a super nice defensive typing. Physical attackers usually don't want to touch it because it has static as well. So super nice mon to use defensively. It gets access to defog, roost, but offensively super nice as well. Like, discharge is nice to grab some additional paras, but access to hurricane in this generation as well. Overheat. It lost access to hidden power ice, which is annoying, but it's still an amazing mon. So Zapdos adds nice to that pivoting core I was talking about, and the next Pokemon does as well, which is Umbreon. I really wanted to grab Sylveon. Like, I've been looking forward to using Sylveon for a while now, because I really haven't. And I really wanted to grab Sylveon, but I think Sylveon and, like, I really wanted Swampert maybe as well. Was it Swampert? I don't know. But those two got sniped in the same round. So I wasn't able to grab those, but Umbreon is amazing as well. Gets access to Baton Pass to get in your physical threats, or yeah, heavy hitters I mean. Access to Wish, Heal Bell. Like, on the offensive side, it's kind of lacking, and it's kind of lacking a lot. Like, it usually just runs Foul Play, but it does get access to, like, Sucker Punch, that kind of stuff. So you can run fun Umbreon sets, you definitely can, but it's primarily here to just heal up the rest of the team and get them in safely. So that's the job of Umbreon. Super nice defensive stats, both physical defense and special defense. I think that's a physical one of 110 and special defense of 130. With a nice HP stat as well. So Umbreon is kind of a really nice wall, and it gives me an amazing dark type to switch into every psychic type there is, except for Tapu Lele. Let's not do that. But yeah, Umbreon, super nice one. Next one I grabbed is Keldeo. Looking forward to using Keldeo as well. It was either Keldeo or what's someone called Terrakion. Terrakion was 18 points, I think. Yeah, both super great ones, but I already have a Weavile, like a physical one. So I really want to grab Keldeo. Keldeo is a threat. Like, Keldeo is a threat and a half. It gets Flip Turn this generation, which I really like. Specs, Hydro Pump, Specs Surf, Specs, what's it called? Sacred Sword? Secret Sword? All hit amazingly hard. Gets access to Calm Mind, which is super threatening as well. It has the Justified ability, which it really doesn't get to use. Because the physical attack stat of this mon is not too great, I think. The coverage on Keldeo was kind of lacking. It gets access to Air Slash, I think. Also has Taunt and Toxic, which is, like, useful, I guess. Like, the coverage is really not too great, but the combination of both Water and Fighting type is actually really nice on Keldeo. Like, it hits amazingly hard. So, really happy to be able to use Keldeo in this season. Next one is... oh, let me grab it. Sandslash. So, Sandslash wasn't on the original draft. I think I grabbed Steelix for my ground and my steel type, but in the end I really wasn't too happy with how the team was looking, and I ended up getting Sandslash as my ground type. So Sandslash is a really nice defensive ground type, has Stealth Rock and Rapid Spin, so it's both able to set hazards and remove them. Also has access to Knockoff, which is nice, and some really nice stab. Earthquake, if I feel like it, I can also run Manual Sand with, like, Sword Sand maybe. But it's not really there for that. Just here to have a ground type to be able to switch into those full switches if necessary, and to be able to set those hazards. So that's what Sandslash is for. Next one is Amoonguss. So Amoonguss originally wasn't on the team as well. I can't really remember what one I did draft in this slot first. But we have Amoonguss now for our nice double regen core. Amoonguss has an amazing defensive typing. Like, what's it called? Grass, Poison. Super nice defensive typing. Resists Water, resists Fairy, resists Fighting. Those are all really prominent offensive typings in the meta. So really happy to grab Amoonguss here. Really nice with an Assault Vest, really nice with Black Sludge, Rocky Helmet. Gets access to Spore, which is like, you like kind of for free gets to incapacitate an opponent for a few turns. Which gives you like opportunities to go into your offensive threats. So yeah, really glad I grabbed Amoonguss. Really haven't used it like at all. So really happy I was able to grab it. Next one is Klefki. So on the original draft, like before the free agency period, I did not have a Fairy type, and now a Fairy type isn't per se necessary, but there's some really strong dragons in the game. Of course, I'm talking your Lardis, I'm talking Dragapult, like things you kind of want a Fairy type for. So I got Klefki, which has some really nice utility options as well. Gets access to spikes, to both screens. Like its defensive stats are honestly not too bad. So that's what Klefki is for, just to set those spikes for your offensive threats and helping your offensive threats in breaking a little bit easier. Klefki also gets defog, which is really nice. So I now have removal in Zapdos and Klefki and Sandslash. And I have hazards in Klefki and Sandslash as well. Yeah, I think that's everything up until now. So really happy to grab Klefki. Next one is Haxorus. I think in the slot I originally drafted, what's it called? Dragonite. Because I really did not know what to do with my draft at this point. I kind of got all over the place and I really didn't like have a fairy and I didn't have a dragon either. So kind of confused at this point in the draft. But I ended up trading Dragonite for Haxorus because it's cheaper. I think Dragonite was 16 points, Haxorus is 14, which allowed me to grab Klefki, which I also did not have at the time. And Haxorus is still an amazing mon, of course. Has an attack stat of 147. I mean, an attack stat of 147, that's nothing to mess with. It gets access to Skill Shot Sword Dance and to Dragon Dance, which are amazing setup opportunities for the mon. It has the coverage options to hit the mons that Dragon types usually can't hit, like Earthquake, Poison Jab to hit the fairies. Also has Iron Tail, I think, if you run into something like, what's it called, Mimikyu or something that you can't hit with Poison Jab for super effective damage. It has Mold Breaker, so it goes through abilities. I think that's the reason why I mentioned Mimikyu so specifically, because Mimikyu's Disguise is also useless against this. It's a really specific example. But yeah, Mold Breaker is an amazing ability. You can hit Levitate mons, that kind of stuff. So Haxorus usually either an amazing breaker with Choice Band and First Impression maybe, or an amazing setup sweeper, or just a late game sweeper, you know, cleaner. Yeah, happy I grabbed Haxorus. Really adds to the offensive threats that I want on this team, paired with those defensive pivots. So for the final mon, I have Lycanrock Midnight. In my head, this mon was actually really trash, but I looked into it and it's not that bad. Like, it has a nice speed stat at 85, I think. Wait, let me grab it real quick. Lycanrock Midnight, 82, which is not too bad. It has an attack stat of 115, so it kind of hits hard. Gets access to Stealth Rock, to No Guard Stone Edges, which hurt. So it has access to No Guard to be able like to not miss those moves. And for 4 points, I think it's kind of a value pick. So I now have two hazard setters in Lycanrock Midnight and Sandslash, which are honestly both like not amazing, but they are able to get them up like reliably, you know. So happy I grabbed those two mons in the end. Like before the free agency period, my draft was kind of looking to be really messy, but really happy with how it turned out. I have Weavile as an offensive threat together with Zapdos and Keldeo, which is really hard. I have Haxorus as either like a heavy hitter as well, or just a late game sweeper, which is amazing. I have hazards in Lycanrock, Klefki, Sandslash, and like plenty of removal in Klefki and Zapdos, and Sandslash as well. So overall, I think this team functions really nicely. Like, I haven't played with it yet, but it looks to be functioning really nicely, and I hope I can make it work. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell me in the comments below what you think of the draft, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.